Are you over 35 and trying to get the most from your training? In this video, you'll get advice from two experienced coaches who specialize in working with people over 35. Hi, it's Ivana, and I want to help you get fit, healthy, and strong at any age. If that sounds good to you, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. My specialty is helping people over 35 bust through their limitations and get in the best shape of their lives. I'm going to share my best training tips over 35, and I've also invited my friend and colleague Joey Shalolo to share his advice as well. Joey and I met on a course for advanced strength coaches in 2013, and now we coincidentally live across the street from each other here in Toronto, Canada.
Hello, my name is Joey Shalolo. My specialty is training busy professionals over 40 to get fit. So one of the main guidelines I give to those training over 35 is we need to be well-rounded in our approach. So what that means is we need to consider all four components of fitness in our weekly regimen or routine. We should have 2 to 3 strength sessions a week, which is going to help maintain our lean muscle mass and strength. We need to have cardiovascular sessions, which is going to maintain our endurance and cardiovascular system as well as facilitate recovery. Flexibility is the third component, which falls under the mobility umbrella, which means we should be doing daily mobilization techniques or stretching techniques to maintain efficiency of movement. Our fourth component of fitness is maintaining a healthy body composition, and that's accumulation or a result of a sound approach to our fitness plan as well as consistency with nutrition. If we ignore even just one of these components, it could cause us issues down the road.
The combination of strength and flexibility is something that I really emphasize with my clients who are over 35. Weight training is obviously key because we want to maintain our muscle mass as we get older, and you want that balance because it may be nice to be able to deadlift 600 pounds, but if you feel stiff and sore, if you're walking for long periods and don't have any endurance, and you don't have the mobility and flexibility in your hips, then you're not going to feel quite as good. Although it does feel pretty good to deadlift 600 pounds, I guess. And equally, you don't want to be able to do the splits, but then not be able to do even a push-up because of your lack of upper body strength, or a solid squat with some decent weight because you don't have the lower body strength.
So for those over 35, I believe one of the most common challenges is being consistent with their fitness regimen and fitting it into a busy lifestyle.
I agree with that. Most of my clients who are over 35, they have children, they have busy careers, so it's about managing their schedules and trying to fit everything in.
But people often think motivation is what keeps us consistent. Motivation is usually what gets us started, but we need systems and plans in place to follow through on consistency. What I mean by having a system or strategy in place when it comes to fitness is planning ahead. For example, look at your week. Which are the busier days? Which windows can you find to work out, and schedule it like you would any other appointment.
I'm a big believer that motivation just isn't really going to get you where you want to go. There's only so much rah that's actually going to get you going. The busier you are, the more important it is to have exercise in your plan.
What I would recommend as far as applying this is look to areas of your life that you're already successful. You probably already have systems and strategies and plans in place that make you successful in that area of your life. All you have to do is apply those same strategies to your fitness.
It may actually be better to do full body workouts as opposed to body part splits. So doing chest and triceps one day, back and biceps, full body 3 times a week. And if that's all you're doing is 3 sessions a week, then you'll probably get enough recovery between those sessions in order to build and grow muscle. The upper body tends to recover a little bit faster than the lower body, so you might just include the legs 1 day or perhaps 2. For women particularly, this tends to be easier. We can recover better, whereas men might only be able to handle 1 to 2 leg training sessions, and that's assuming that they're not maximal lifting sessions like a powerlifting session.
I believe a main focus when it comes to training over 35 is focusing on consistency versus perfection. We need to be moving on a daily basis, so even if you go for a daily walk, 5 minutes of stretching, all that stuff is going to accumulate over time. Consistency always wins the race.
I think working for consistency rather than perfection is something that a lot of us work on throughout our lives. Many of our clients are very hard workers, they're perfectionists and high achievers, so it's very hard to let go of that high standard. And I'm not saying that high standards aren't useful, because I definitely demand that of myself and of my clients as well. However, it's often important to take a little bit of moderation there and realize that doing something continuously at a moderate level is much better than going full on for a short period of time and then just quitting altogether. And that's what happens to a lot of people, that all or nothing principle. If you can't get over that, you're actually going to struggle much more than someone who accepts progress instead of perfection.
So the main message I would have to those that are weight training over 35 is an individualistic approach. And firstly, I'm going to talk about mindset or a psychological realm. For those that are just starting out, you want to focus on incremental improvements based on yourself and your progress. Don't compare yourself to any others. Secondarily to that is for those that are, say, getting back at it and they have more of a competitive nature, they used to be like an athlete back in college, don't compare yourself to your former self, right? Don't try to do the last workout you did 25 years ago with your gym buddies, right? That's probably going to cause some issues. When it comes to an individualistic approach on the physical realm, what I mean by that is I'd highly encourage you to learn more about yourself. Learn about your limitations and capacities. And this feeds in with the weight training conversation in the sense of weight training is a double-edged sword because on one hand, you literally have thousands of different exercises. On the other hand, because we have so much variety, it can create some confusion as to what to do, as well as some of those exercises may not be meant for you, right? Maybe you're not qualified for them. The name of the game, guys, as we mentioned before, is consistency. So if we can maintain pain-free movement and don't have injuries, we can keep active for a longer period of time, which means we're going to be fit as we age.
My message to anyone over 35 is you still have a lot more to achieve. You can still build muscle, you can still get leaner if that's what you want. You need to still keep working towards those goals because you have not reached your potential. You can be fitter, healthier, and stronger. This is not down, down, down from here, whether you're 35, 40, 45, you still have plenty of room to grow. So focus on the positive and work your way to a fitter and healthier, stronger you. If you like the sound of that, please hit that like button.
So one of the biggest changes I've made to my own training is paying attention more to how my body's feeling each day, as well as putting more effort and strategy into recovery methods. You can only train as hard as your body's ability to recover. And this is even more important as we age because our bodies are producing less collagen and our bodies are recovering less effectively or efficiently. So therefore we need to put more proactive measures into helping ourselves heal and recover. We should have a daily plan or process for helping ourselves heal or recover. And that starts with prioritizing a good night's sleep. Secondarily to that is moving every single day, right? Which includes soft tissue work, mobilization techniques, also meditation, which also calms the mind, which will help calm the muscles as well. So the idea is that we always want to be paying attention to how our body's feeling, focusing on recovery and maintaining that efficiency of movement.
I'm going to be honest and say that I haven't changed a whole lot about my training since I turned 35. That was around the time that I had my son. So obviously having a child made a difference on the sleep for a period of time. I competed in a fitness competition 9 months after my son was born, so I tried to maintain the weight training during that period. It was hard. The changes that my body went through around that time were more to do with pregnancy and childbirth than anything that I think of as age. I do place more of an emphasis on listening to my body, recognizing when it needs sleep, as opposed to harder and harder training. Sometimes it's just knowing when to rest, and that's something that I've acquired in these years over 35. There is a lot more balance in my life, and that's just out of necessity. When I competed in the physique shows, I had an infant at that time, so my priorities were different. It was to have a balanced life and to have something for myself as a hobby, something that I could work towards as a goal. I think that's really important as we get older. Don't forget that this is not the end of anything. Still have things to work towards, whether it's that 600-pound deadlift or doing a full chin-up or a dip or even 20 push-ups. You need to set some sort of goal for you to work towards in your training.
Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks again, Ivana, for having me on your channel.
Thanks, Joey, for sharing your training tips over 35 with us today. I hope you enjoyed these tips from 2 experienced coaches. I'm also curious to hear from you. What have you done differently since you turned 35? Have you noticed changes, either positive or negative, in your training? So before you go anywhere else, please check out my website, ivanachapman.com, where you can pick up a copy of my free ebook, How to Get Lean After 35. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and I look forward to seeing you next week.